welcome to another roundtable. With me right now is Sci-Fi Sis Dan. How you doing, Dan?
Pretty good. Still alive and kicking. How about you?
Yeah, I'm still here. Fortunately, I haven't won that lotto yet, so I can't disappear to tropical island.
Yeah, but then again, it depends how much of a spender or saver you are. Are you able to save up all your lottery winnings, or are you gonna be one of those crazy spenders, spending it all on doing something stupid or doing body enhancements that cost you a fortune?
No body enhancements. Might get it working, but that's about it. And hey, the Drew 24, welcome.
Hey, the Drew.
So, what you been up to, Dan?
I'm just making some YouTube videos recently to entertain my audience.
Oh, that's good. You've been using that music creator that girl found, haven't you?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw those two Star Trek mixes you did. Those are both very good. And apparently, the audience has been responding to them. Got like 600 plus on both of those.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. Uh, well, let's see. What have you heard of Star Trek news? I mean, it's like beating a dead horse, but we can only do so many topics that we're familiar with, unless you want to go to different topics that we're unfamiliar with to be like idiots on live streams.
Oh, that's okay. People tend to like to watch idiots on live streams.
Any news in the Star Trek community or in general that you heard of?
Not really. Everything is pretty much on hold until this Skydance thing goes through.
Yeah, and
Uh,
from what I hear online and critics of that deal, they say that Paramount is just basically gonna burn through $400 million in that Section 31 show or movie. They are.
yeah, I'm not really thinking there's too much of that actually already made. I agree with Teague when he was saying that all they got is a bunch of B-roll and like crowd shots, and they're just reusing a whole bunch of stuff and saying they have a project. They are so
Yeah,
desperate to stay alive and suck more money out of Paramount that they'll do basically anything.
the True 24. Good point.
Yeah, but they didn't do that on purpose. Bad Robot, Secret Hideout, they are burning that money on purpose just to burn it.
Yeah, and I would say this for the Concord game. They may burn through $400 million, but at least they tried to do their DEI stuff separate from putting it enforced in other games. They try to do it separately, and that failed miserably since the audience is so small for that type of stuff.
Yeah. I would have gone a lot smaller with that budget, though. They shouldn't saw that coming. That it was going to be a complete disaster.
Either they're too arrogant or too ignorant to actually see it. I go with arrogance or both.
Oh, well, Sony, you can never tell. If you get the American Sony, arrogance definitely, and that's where I think it comes from. The Japanese branch of Sony, they just don't understand American audiences sometimes, and it just goes over their head. But I think this was a wholly U.S. production, so I bet on arrogance.
Yeah, I do have a genuine question. Around the world, they say Americans are dumb and stupid, and they like dumb and stupid entertainment. Is that correct, or do we like sophisticated entertainment too as well?
I don't know. We like what we like. It's not up to the European preference, but fuck the Europeans.
Well, they are the old world, and they are snobbish. A lot of them are probably.
Yeah, there's a reason they're the old world. Yeah. The answer is yes to both, I think, Drew. Entirely possible. Let's see, what do we have on the trending tab?
Are you gonna see Venom? Are you gonna see Venom 3 when it comes out in less than a month?
I was thinking about it. I saw the first one. That was good. The second one wasn't as good as I was hoping, so I waited until it was on online to watch it. But hopefully they close it out good.
Are you a fan of the Hellboy films and comics, or both? Are you a fan of that?
To an extent. The original was great. Golden Army, a little less so. That reboot one was disaster on pretty much every front.
Yeah, because I was going to say, should they have just made a third Hellboy movie instead of just doing a crap reboot?
Unfortunately, that would have required them to bring back the jackass that was playing Hellboy. And Perlman had burned several bridges.
Yeah, well, after the 2016 election, everyone has gone insane, especially on the left side of the spectrum they have.
Yeah.
Either they were always that crazy, or it's just that they got the DDS very badly.
Yeah.
If the abbreviation I'm using is correct.
TDS. Hey, Daniel.
Hey, Daniel.
But yeah, he burned some bridges when it came to Hellboy, so they thought it best just to start over without him. Because he wasn't really bringing in the money as it was with the results of Golden Army.
Yeah, I mean, should they have... Well, the reboot was trash, but if he wasn't available, should they have just recast him, or should they have done a reboot of the Hellboy franchise, but do it right and not do it terribly like they did with the reboot a few years ago?
I think the reboot, the basic story idea was okay, but they got a bad actor. He was enthusiastic, but not great for the part. And as I recall, that was Rodriguez who actually directed it.
Yeah, and from what I hear, the movie was terribly edited wrong or incoherently too. From what I hear.
Yeah, that didn't help whatsoever. There's parts of it that really just didn't make any sense. Oh no, that was Marshall that directed that. Still, it looked just incoherent. Would have been something you expected for a streaming service, but that was a little bit before that was big, so maybe they'll reboot it again in a few years.
Well, I do have an article here if you want to talk about it on Screen Rant, which we all know
Yeah,
they're
sure.
going to be biased as hell, probably.
Yeah.
This article I have from Screen Rant is let's see here. I think Come on. What is it again? Every DCEU movie ranking from worst to best according to this author.
Oh
And at the
yeah, as I
bottom,
recall, we ended halfway through that on your stream.
I thought it was the MCU. This is the DCEU.
Oh yeah, okay.
And from what this author says, at the bottom of the list is Justice League, the 2017 movie. I haven't seen the movie, but
that's probably the worst one you can get.
yeah, especially for what I hear, the tone is shifting halfway through the movie since Zack Snyder left the movie, and that left, if I'm getting his name right, Joss Whedon to complete the movie, and he added a whole bunch of not very good humor. But then humor is a subjective thing; either it's funny or not. And he added too much of a lighthearted tone to it. I think is what the audience and critics say that he did to it.
Yeah, Joss Whedon is not a funny guy.
All right, and in 15th place, we have Suicide Squad 2016.
That one wasn't horrible. It's a good attempt, and for them, it's not the worst. I think there's other stuff worse than it. Hey, Brad Wolf, welcome. Wolfmas did not make sense in that movie.
I can't spell article correctly. Damn it. There we are. I put it in the chat if you want to follow along with the ranking list. And in 15th place or 14th place, we have Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice.
Yeah, that was a weird one.
Yeah, they went too fast on that movie, or in the franchise in general, way too fast. And then in 13th place, I think you're gonna say this movie sucks and you hate it. Shazam! Fury of the Gods 2013 and 2023.
Actually, I think Shazam is among the better that the DCEU managed to put out.
Yeah, well, this one is
That's not saying a lot.
And then in 12th place, no, what's the price? Wonder Woman 1984, 2020.
That should be way, way lower. That is an abomination of a film.
And then in 11th place, we have Black Adam 2022.
That should be top 5. That was a good movie. It just didn't make sense for the larger universe. Contained in itself, good movie. Rock was a very good actor in that. You got the Justice Society of America. All did great. Good self-contained movie.
All right. And the next on the list is Aquaman, The Lost Kingdom, 2023 as well.
Not as bad as I thought it was going to be, but still very, very uninteresting. He's a great superhero actor, but why the hell is he Aquaman?
And I will say, ironically, I'm going to say the name of the other show he was in Stargate Atlantis. He was actually a pretty good supporting cast in that TV show. Our main cast member.
Yeah. He was really good in that.
As the muscle of Shepard's team anyway. And then up next,
autocorrect is all our enemy, Brad.
And the next up on the list is The Flash, 2023.
This should be the bottom of the goddamn list. How anyone can justify anything in that movie is beyond me. The only thing you had was nostalgia bait with old Batman. Sam 2 is the fairest of them all. The Evil Queen must have made the list.
And then,
well, someone stupid made the list. Obviously, the Flash is in the top 10. There's no way in hell it's top 10, even for the MCU.
And then next up on the list is Zack Snyder's Justice League, his version of it, 2021.
I think this might actually be a fair ranking. It's not great, but compared to the other piece of schlock that came out, it's fantastic. Okay, let's finish up these chats before we continue on. Aquaman the Lost Kingdom did not do anything to save the DCEU. Yeah, unfortunately, by the time it came along, Daniel, there was nothing to save it. Momo went from lifeguard to Atlantis muscle to King of Atlantis. What a career, yeah.
Well, tell me, did he get a promotion since he was the muscle? Now he's the king of Atlantis, though?
Yeah, that's pretty damn good promotion. The Flash came close to save the DCU with bring back Keaton, Batman, and the multiverse, but it failed sadly. It didn't come within 100 miles, in my opinion, Daniel. The idea was there, but the haphazard way they put everything together, and the fact that you have a psychotic playing the Flash, there's just no way that was ever going to work. They have a perfectly good actor in Gusterson from the TV show. When it became clear that Ezra Miller was a complete trash bag of a human being, drop him.
Well, and I gotta say, Daniel's Hot Topics, he's too much of an optimist when it comes to all this new stuff. I mean, me and you and a few others, I'm somewhat of a, well, I'm gonna say the oxymoron term, but you know what I'm gonna say. I'm a pessimist optimist, and I know that that's an oxymoron term, but if you got a better term for it, let me know. If not, I'm gonna stick with it.
I would say more of a realist. But yeah, Daniel does take the optimistic side of stuff. Good for him.
All right.
Shazam had both Snow Brown actress and Evil Queen Gal Gadot. Wow. That is highly unfortunate.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?
See Michael Keaton as Batman again someday. That would be nice, but I think it's not going to happen outside of, say, a parody.
Either that, or they do what they did with what's that comic where the artist and writer main Bruce Wayne in his late 50s or early 60s?
Batman Beyond?
Yeah, Keaton could play that type of Batman. He's old enough to play the part, maybe a little too old, but he could pull it off.
He'd be great for that. And I know that at one point they had that planned, but apparently that all cratered. Hello, Gorilla. Damn kid sold over $200 in popcorn. Wow, Gorilla. Get some very cheap stuff and start getting that kid to hawk whatever you can, door to door. He has a gift.
And hello,
you can
Mikey.
Make some serious money off of that kid. Hey, Mikey.
All right, then on to the article. Next up on the list is, let's see here, Birds of Prey, a feminist hot mess of a movie from what I hear.
Yeah, there should be a 1 right in front of that 7. None of them can act. The only good looking one is the one playing Harley. And that really doesn't make up for the shit acting and the fact that they don't put her in too revealing of stuff.
Well, if you go by her TV show outfit, it's just basically a skin tight jester outfit.
That's better than what they had her in this. They had her in glossy crap like that one that in the picture.
Yeah, but judging by what the actress is, she probably would not agree to a skin tight outfit unless the director is forceful enough to actually say, "Get in line, wear this, or you're fired from the damn film."
That would have been better. Say, start dressing as sexy as you did in that Suicide Squad movie, or we're gonna get some 2-bit crack whore off of the street. Michael Keaton was on the Happy, Sad, Confused podcast, and the host asked Keaton, "Will you ever see his Batman again?" Keaton responded, "Never say never." Oh yeah, never say never. If he's still alive, and with modern technology, even after he's gone, we may see him as Batman again.
Yeah, it just takes a big enough paycheck.
Keaton for old Bruce in Batman Beyond movie, it could be a hit if they don't fuck it up. That's the key part. They never managed to figure out how not to fuck it up. Yeah, they've had several stuff come up, but unfortunately, like that Batman Beyond project completely fell through.
Alrighty, and next on the list.
Hey.
Hey, Mikey, how's it going?
Hey guys, and thank you, Resolute Germ, for the invite. You know what I say about Michael Keaton? I still think he's the best Batman. And like you said, Germ, as long as they don't fuck it up, they could do another thing with Keaton in it for sure.
Yeah.
Alrighty, and next on the list of this biased Arthur's list is Shazam. I can't say the name right. 2018.
Oh yeah, the original Shazam. Well, the reboot of Shazam, but from Zachary Levi. Yes, definitely that. That was fun to watch in the theater. It actually was. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun watch. I would have preferred someone not in a muscle suit.
Oh, that's all right though.
Zachary into the gym for a little while before you actually started.
Yeah.
Well,
I agree.
from what I hear, those muscles are real on him. He did go to the gym to work out, for what I hear.
Oh no, that's a muscle suit.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, both movies.
Yeah.
He either tried and failed or didn't try at all. Maybe next time he'll take a little bit of the juice and he can actually get there.
I gotta say, he if you guys ever seen the Chuck TV show, he played the lovable out of water nerd computer geek very well in that TV show.
Trust me, Daniel. His first one was okay, was pretty good. Second one, shit. So
yeah, that second one was no good.
Yeah, not even Michelle Yeoh could save it. Yeah.
Someone call in the A-Team via Red Dwarf.
Well, the Sequence of Isis? Yes, they did. But you also forgot the greatest American heroes thrown in there too, Brad Wolf. Both of those guys.
All right, the next on the list of this biased, the Beetlejuice one, 2023, basically the DII movie, for hire movie.
I never actually bothered to watch that one.
This one I never watched. I saw a trailer for it, and I said, "Oh my god, this is a Hispanic movie disaster." Hello.
Yeah. Jaime
I do think,
Reyes is a great character in his own right, and the succession of Blue Beetle to Blue Beetle is very logical, and he's not a DEI character at all.
No.
But they
I'm saying,
managed to completely fuck it up
yeah, I know
with
he's not a DI hire,
George Lopez.
but this
Yeah.
movie was. It felt like it, a DI hire movie made for it. In other words, it felt like it, especially in the
Yeah.
trailer.
Yeah, the trailer, I
Yeah.
just got completely sick, especially with George Lopez in it.
Yeah, especially
Yeah, because George Lopez was looking for a paycheck, right? Basically, Resolute. That's what I felt.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
yeah, especially that one jab at Batman. We all know what line it was in the trailer.
Yeah.
So you want to read that, Sif, Dan?
Love Chuck's at the end. It started off fantastic and it kept my interest. Dad was quantum leaping and his mom was busy fighting Skynet. Yes, that's true.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, and then next up on this list is let's see here. Oh, the original Aquaman from 2018.
Yes. Now, I did actually like this from Jason Momoa. I thought he
Yeah.
definitely could fit out on the Aquaman. Definitely.
He
Definitely. Yeah.
carries the movie. A solid, top 5 for the DCEU.
Plus, I love his mom is Michelle Pfeiffer. Hello. you know, she practically saved Batman, the second Batman, her being Catwoman. So for sure, she saves Aquaman. Yeah, definitely. Amber Heard is a train wreck. I'm sorry. I did not
Yeah.
like her in that movie. She's always a train wreck. Yeah.
Yeah, especially in the Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. If I gain the title right in that movie, if I am.
Oh my
I
God.
don't.
Yeah.
Was that Amber Heard in that one?
Oh, you mean well, didn't she show up in both Aquaman movies? Because she was in the second one too.
She got cut down to almost nothing in the second one.
Right. Oh, I'm so sorry, Daniel. Yeah, Nicole Kidman. Well, sorry. I meant to say, yeah, Nicole Kidman, but she did well. No, she did. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say Michelle Pfeiffer. I made a mistake there. Oh yeah, Amber Turd. yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
but she's not a part. Yeah.
well, I will say this: she got her just desserts with Johnny Depp actually proving he was innocent and actually to say, "Screw you! Now I want a divorce. And I'm taking all your shit with me. Bye."
The problem
Well,
was she didn't have anything. It was all his.
she didn't have much to give. So I mean, pretty much Johnny Depp said, "Hey, f you, bitch," and that's it for you in Hollywood. So she's practically destroyed. Her reputation's gone.
Yeah.
Maybe she go
All right, and
striptease for someone
Anyway,
as a supermodel.
all right,
on
and
to the
then
top
next up,
3.
next on
Right.
the list is Wonder Woman 2017. This movie was all right. But they should have kept her in World War II. Don't do a World War One setting though.
Well, was it really about World War One, or I
It
mean,
was World
you
War
know
One.
what they could have done? You know what they could have done is because of the way it was here, they never should have done a Wonder Woman 1984. If that's where you would have put her in a World War II setting, then I'm like, yeah, sure. The second one should have been the next World War, but they didn't. And then
Yeah, well,
come on, Kristen Wiig is terrible. I mean, the woman is supposed to be socked away in Saturday Night Live hell for the rest of her life. She should not be acting in films. I'm sorry. I hate Kristen Wiig. Cannot stand
yeah,
her.
and Mikey, if you go off by her comic book history and the history behind the comic, she was made during the World War II era of comics, so she was made to be a feminist icon for women and for the World War II era, saying, "Hey, women can be just as badass as men during that era."
Yeah, but I mean, really like her in this. Chris Pine as Trevor, not so much. Sorry, Chris. Yeah,
Alrighty,
I never liked
the next
him
up on
that
this
that
list.
character very much anyway.
well,
All right, and and then next up on the list is The Man of Steel 2013. And I dislike this movie because Zack Snyder ruined the Superman character in this movie.
Yeah,
To
you
put
can.
it lightly.
There is. Everyone can tell exactly when it got ruined too, and it was in no way the main character. It was nothing important. It's just a throwaway Kevin Costner scene when his father tells him not to save him. That's when everyone knew everything was fucked.
Or better yet, his father told him to keep his powers hidden no matter the cost, especially using his powers when he really needed to. And sure, he could come up with a somewhat lame excuse or a out of this world excuse, basically. Like when he tried to save that school bus, his fellow schoolmates, he could have come up with a pretty out of this world theory or explanation. They probably would have bought it. I mean, ironically, us humans are pretty stupid enough to buy a excuse like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, but did Superman? My understanding, I thought, same as Batman, is Batman doesn't kill people in comics. Superman doesn't kill people in comics. You knew
Oh
right
well,
away that's wrong. I mean, even okay. Here's my thought
Yeah.
process on it. Okay, Zod is obviously evil. Man wants to destroy Earth, everything, whatever. He wants to destroy Kal-El, everything. Okay, would I necessarily just, try to beat the crap out of him? Oh yeah, and then snap his neck at the very end? Last time I checked, Superman never did that once to any of the Phantom, in the second one that,
Yeah.
Christopher Reeve did. He didn't
He put
do
them back
that.
all into Phantom Zone. But
That the Phantom Zone,
I
right?
know he's going for that. In the movie is supposed to show that Zod actually won. He
R-
forced Superman to
Right.
break his rule of not
Yeah,
killing.
right.
But they
But
didn't
that's just
really
wrong.
go into that. They should have made it more obvious that he was broken by what he had to do to Zod.
yeah, and he was crying in Lois Lane's arms for that kill, and that was, I mean, true. Men are supposed to be stoic, but there's a time and place to actually show emotion, and that's behind the scenes. Don't be so damn public about it.
Exactly.
Hey, Jim.
Hello, Jim.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, Daniel, I would say it wasn't a bad thing, but that's not how the Superman character is. And it's like Resolute Germ said, when he watches his, adopted dad, Kevin Costner, die, you just took his balls away from Superman, even if he's young like that. You took it away from Clark Kent. He's got to live with that? Oh, come on. Yeah,
Yeah, the
yeah,
way they
just
in
hard to watch. Yeah,
in the 70s where he had a heart attack and there's still nothing he can do.
yeah.
Because the story of Superman is supposed to be about a god among mortals. That
Hello?
even though all his powers, he can't save everybody. He just has
Yeah.
to do his best and be careful. Zod is
Uh,
like Joker. They are both trying to get Batman and Superman to break the rule of not killing, but in the end, they lose because when Joker and Zod die, they are going to, yeah. But
yeah,
it's not about that for them.
yeah.
It's about beating the hero. It's about proving the hero is no better than the scum that they're fighting.
Yes, that's true. Well, I mean, you see that right in the animated one, the Killing Joke. You see where, rather than Batman, beating Joker to death, but he doesn't kill him. But rather than seeing that, Joker decided, okay, I'll just snap my own neck, and that's what he did. So,
Yeah, and I do have to say, Zack Snyder actually he chose the worst character to tear apart or to actually do in the Man of Steel. I mean, call me a he. Zack Snyder is better with dark characters. He could have done a good Batman movie, but Superman movie, no way, because Superman is like the lovable Boy Scout and the internal optimist with a dash of realism in his mindset. Superman is made to be optimistic with a dash of realism in him.
and Brad Wolf, you're going to add, unfortunately, Robert Downey Jr. to that because he makes a great Iron Man. But I guarantee you, as soon as he becomes Doctor Doom, he's going to fuck it up, and they'll ruin it. They'll ruin his reputation. Guarantee you. I mean, I don't even have to see the film. I can tell you exactly. I mean, even Germ would probably agree. You can even see what's going to happen to Robert Downey Jr. You stick with
Well, I
one
do,
role and you go with that role, and when you're done with it. That's it. That's what you should do.
well,
You know?
well, I do have to say, they paid him a nice, big, juicy paycheck to come back because they desperately need
I,
an old
right? Like
face
you're selling your
to
yeah, but you're
renew.
selling your
Um,
soul, Sifdan. That's the whole thing.
well, there's a saying, Mikey. Everyone has their price.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Robert Downey Jr. has reached his price. There you go.
All right, then, scoring up the first place slot in this biased author's review is the Suicide Squad, 2021.
Wow. Now, how do you make that
So
one number one?
yeah, I agree it's one of the better ones, but number one, no. You tone down the sexuality for Harley. You get a bunch of lesser characters than you had in the first one.
And then you get Jared Leto as Joker? I mean, come on.
He wasn't
Really?
in that one. He wasn't in that
Oh, he
one.
wasn't? I
He
thought he
was in the
was.
first one. That was
Okay.
the 2016 one.
Oh, right, right. Sorry.
Idris Elba and John Cena did well in the movie, but the rat lady and polka dot guy, I don't know their real names. I don't give a shit. They're boring. I wanted them dead.
I
King
agree.
Shark has so much potential for comedy gold, but they went with the King Shark is a shark version of him, where he should have been the intellectual type,
I think they
Well,
wimped
is
or
on
at
him.
Shark
least
a
thought he was
natural
the
mutant?
intellectual type.
Well,
He's
is he a
supposed to be the
mutant
descendant
muscle
of a
freak in other
shark
words?
god. He's supposed to be the descendant of a great shark god, but he's an idiot. He's the offspring. He seems to be the offspring of some drunk hillbilly who fell into a pool with a great white who was a little bit more horny than hungry at the time.
I think that's pretty accurate. I think
Yeah,
that's
and
accurate. Yeah.
And Brad Wolf, to your question, I just gotta say, what Avatar: The Last Airbender movie? What movie are you talking about? There's no such thing or movie there.
Mm.
And like Shyamalan.
Shama Ding
Yeah,
Dong. Yeah, Shama Lama Ding Dong. I had a feeling
that
that's what you were going
officially
to say
never
there,
happened,
Brad.
Brad.
Yeah.
I feel like Gunn DCU Superman movie is going to be weak. Well, yeah, it goes without saying.
Yeah, that's definitely true, Daniel. James Gunn can't act out of a gun. Okay, so we'll go there. He can't shoot it straight. So, yeah, Gunn's going to have a real terrible time, honestly.
No, James Gunn was not the reason for Guardians of the Galaxy's success. It
No,
was
definitely.
mainly Chris Pratt and Dave Bautista and the chemistry that group had.
I highly agree.
Gunn may have brought them together, but he in no way helped them on screen.
Okay, Chris Pratt as Star Lord definitely like saves the movies, and he knows how to bring people together. I mean, you got Palm playing, the praying the Mantis. You got Dave Bautista. This guy is like perfect for like fight movies, things like that. And you got him as the big guy, and then you got oh, what was her name? The one that was not the other one that was Nebula, but the her sister, but the other one. Do you remember the actress Resolute? Was it
Uh, oh,
Gamora? You know, the one that played
Gamora.
Gamora. Yeah. Well, anyway, so I mean, bringing together Gamora, Bradley
So
Cooper doing, Bradley Cooper doing Rocket, Vin Diesel doing Groot's voice. Yeah, I mean, it was a perfect Zoe Saldana. Thank you, Bradley. Um, yeah, and then you had, Nebula, her sister, too. Yeah. I mean, no, it was perfect. Gunn, here's the thing. I think we agree on this. Gunn didn't have to do much. All he had to do was to say, "Hey, do you guys have chemistry? Sure, we can bring together chemistry, no problem." And Chris Pratt was at the forefront of that. And oh yeah, Karen Gillian, thank you, Brad Wolf, you're awesome. Yeah, so I mean, he brought them all together. Even in Avengers Endgame, they were still all together. They still worked together, did stuff. I mean, yeah, I mean, it was great. Gunn didn't have to do shit. Gunn just sat there and said, "Okay, just act." They all did, and like they exceeded their mandates, and they were great. And every single, I mean, even with the one where you had Ego, played by Kurt Russell, and Kurt Russell, is a legend, right? So I mean, the man could like take over and like outact everybody, but he didn't. He just jived with it. I mean, you even had a movie or two where you had the great Sly Stallone, right? And I mean, he could have done whatever he wanted to do, but it's like he just went with the flow. I just think it's great because uh, the actors and actresses. Oh yeah, Mary Poppins, definitely. Well, the second one was great too, Brad Wolf. There's two of them. But
I think
it's
you're
just,
misunderstanding, Mikey.
oh, what is he saying then?
The scene in Guardians 2 where I'm Mary Poppins, y'all.
Oh, oh, that. Okay. Well, I still think it was okay. It was a little silly, Brad Wolf, but it was okay. Sure. It was okay.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that
that
Gunn
movie
didn't
was
have to
meant to
do
be silly.
barely anything. Well, I mean, James Gunn did barely have to do anything with um, any of the Guardians of the Galaxy films. They're well crafted. You got a great chemistry among the actors and actresses. Definitely, never have to worry about it. I mean, all you have to do is put them on screen, and they're going to do their job. And that's the best part about Guardians. They'll do their
It,
jobs.
he actually got the worst version of ego that he could have scrounged up.
Yes, yes. I'm Mary Poppins, y'all. Yeah, well, it's okay. He can do voiceovers, just can't act as King Shark. Yeah, it's
If I
okay.
remember correctly, Sly Stallone voiced King Shark.
I think he did.
I'm not sure about that.
Yeah,
in
I
in the
know.
in the
I'm gonna come
animated
look that
movie,
up.
or in the animated movie, or in the real live action one.
In the live action one.
Hmm.
Sue voiced King Shark Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
King Shark had. Yeah, that was Sly Stallone.
Wow.
How unfortunate.
Yeah.
Well, he has to pay the bill somehow, Germ.
Yeah, I guess, but
Well, you really don't. You don't really hate voiceover actors. You just kind of hate the characters that are created for them in the first
yeah.
place. Yeah.
Let's see if they got anything else a little bit better.
Well, in October, um, Suzanne and I are going to go see on October 5th the third Venom movie, The Last Dance. It does look actually pretty good.
Yeah, that looks okay. Should be better than the second one, at the very least.
I hope so.
Yeah, that was Sly. Love Action Gun one. That would be the second one.
Yeah.
Compared to the first one, yeah, the second one was freaking gold.
For sure.
And Brad Wolf love action gun. Wow, are you saying that the gun gets a lot more action than the average person?
The second one is where they had a lot more fighting, right? That was
Yeah.
the second Guardians. Yeah. I did like that action, actually. I did. Oh, that was good.
Oh, here's a
Um,
stupid article. I'm
hmm.
sorry, but Storm can't just join the Avengers. She needs to lead them. This ought to be
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah. I was looking that up. I was thinking about showing it, but I figured, nah. If I want to do it on my own live stream, I can show it up on my live stream too. But you're
Oh,
gonna show
yeah.
it on your stream anyway.
Oh, if you want to save it for your live stream.
No, you can go ahead and do it if you want.
Okay. I'm sorry, but Storm can't just join the X-Men. She needs to lead them by
And why is
Joe
that?
Anthony Merrick.
I do have a word of advice to this biased Arthur. Shut up. She has to join them first and earn the position. Don't just have her lead them by default.
Yeah. She can lead the X-Men if Wolverine and Cyclops aren't there.
Right.
Let's see here. Maybe this is controversial opinion, but I don't think Storm should be a member of the Avengers. If you stop the article right there, you got gold. There's no way X-Men should be occasional join the Avengers on a special mission as a special crossover, but keep them separate.
It's gonna
Hear me
fail.
out. Hear me out. Storm should absolutely be on the Marvel's top squad. I'm not saying that one of the company's most powerful heroes should not be listed among Earth's mightiest heroes, but there's much better role for her that's perfectly suited for her major position in the Marvel Universe. I never really saw her as a major figure in the Marvel Universe.
No,
She's a
not
major
well.
figure
Not
for
even
the
in.
X-Men.
Yeah.
She's top 5 X-Men, but not
Yep.
major Marvel.
Hey, Brad Wolf, are you being real cynical on that one? Are you saying freakazoid?
Come on, Article. We all know we need leader.
I
Oh
think
yeah,
Brad was.
Freakazoid.
Yeah, right. I think Brad was just reached cynicism peak there, Brad. Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Happy
Brad,
ridiculous, but hey, whatever.
Freakazoid is actually a DC character.
Yes. Yeah, you don't put
I
a
would,
DC character in front of those people. Yeah.
but I would put Freakazoid on a team. I would put him and Deadpool together and just have them just annoy people to high hell, and then they can just take their annoyance out on them because neither of them can die.
Right. Well, and if you want to safely say, you could throw Wolverine into the mix too, because he's supposed to not die. So,
Yeah, but he's not annoying.
Oh, well, I thought he was
Wolverine, the
annoying
character,
sometimes.
Freakazoid from Animaniacs. Oh
Yeah,
yeah, I
from
guess he did get his
Animaniacs.
start on Animaniacs.
Yes, he did.
Okay, let's continue on with this. What I'm saying instead of is that the Avengers number 18 by J. McKay. Dude, come up with a better pseudonym. That is not a great name to be publishing under.
No.
And then, oh wow, someone with an even worse name.
Mm-hmm.
Valeres Pitts. Why does it take so many people to write one damn comic?
Yeah, it used to take what, 2, maybe 3 at the most? Sure.
It took one guy to write, about 3 guys to animate.
Illustrate.
That's just,
right.
yeah. That's just because there's so much work, they just had to spread it out.
Sure.
Too many writer cooks in the room. Plus,
Yeah.
they're probably DEI hires nowadays.
Yeah, too many writer cooks spoil the sauce. They spoil the soup. Yeah, for sure.
Merely being a
I
member of
don't.
the Visions would mean that Storm is taking orders from Captain Marvel. I don't give a shit. The team's current leader. Why the hell is Carol Danvers the damn leader of the Avengers? Is this the DEI Avengers?
It's the deatomizing their manhood Avengers.
I would say this: the leader of the Avengers, in my mind, it's either Iron Man or Captain America. Those are the only leaders I see leading the Avengers. But the question is, who would be the first and second in command, though, of the Avengers team, since those are two strong personalities.
Well, it was always one A and one B.
Oh yeah.
Tony's the mind, Cap's the heart.
There you go.
And no writer, whatever your jackass name was again, I already forgot it. Carol Danvers is not Cap.
No.
Storm makes it obvious that Storm's journey over the last few years needs to lead to her leading a team. She has led the X-Men several times in the run.
So, Jerem, what do you think about this this next Captain America Brave New World, where you're going to have Falcon take over Captain America's position? What do you think about that?
He already did that in the show.
Yeah.
And they tried that in the comics. They found out it was a bad idea. People love Falcon as Falcon. He doesn't need to be Captain America.
I agree.
Or better yet, why just make him Captain Falcon instead of Captain America?
I believe Nintendo already has that IP sewn up.
Yeah. But I think, what I think it's about is not so much of, Anthony Mackie doing the Captain America persona. I think it's more about Harrison Ford being, President Ross. And then he's going to turn into Red Hulk. That was the thing everybody says. And I was like, well, Harrison Ford doesn't need the money.
Harrison Ford took the role on. He's not there for the money. He's there because his friend died.
Yes, I know. I'm just saying.
And Mikey, and surprise, Harrison Ford is going to play Red Hulk, which is a major rival and villain to the Hulk. So surprise, another straight white male is playing a villain. Surprise.
I don't think Red Hulk's going to be the villain.
No, I don't think so. Yeah. Okay, Brad Wolf. Yeah.
Alfredo pseudonyms. Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't give much away, does it?
If you're able to see my comment, it's between Brad Wolf's. Yeah, there you go.
See how all the MCU superhero teams interact with each other. Interesting to see and how they compete with each other. Yeah, that could be something.
That could be something as long as it works. You got to have the writers put that together. Damn.
Well, my point is that there are so many teams and hero organizations. There has to be some type of hierarchy in the MCU universe because the superhero teams are so convoluted. There are so many of them. There has to be some type of hierarchy. Like who's the A team, and then overall B, C, D, F, G, so on and so forth. Like who's like there has to be some type of hierarchy in the Marvel universe when it comes to superhero teams.
I don't know about
welcome
that.
To LDG. How you doing?
Hi, LDG.
Yo. Hey guys. How's it going? What you guys up to?
Oh, we're doing all right.
That usually doesn't make anyone feel better, girl.
But we always love Gorilla's input.
Captain Mexico. Jose Eduardo.
Guerrero. Yeah, Guerrero.
Well, and I will say this: the only good thing that Grell loves is when LDG's foot is up his ass.
My foot up my own ass. Yeah, I wish.
No.
Oh no, that's
Oh,
no. LDG's got an automatic placement. He doesn't need to go on his own ass and kick it.
okay.
Should,
And
should, should I
I'd be on
should I
TikTok
repeat?
if I could do that.
Yeah.
Should I repeat what I just said to LDG, or he can watch the replay of what I just said to him?
No, go
You
ahead.
can watch
What'd you
the
say?
replay.
Okay,
Stop
never mind.
shaming? Okay.
Ow.
You know what I do miss? I gotta tell you, Brad Wolf, I do miss Mystery Men. I mean, yes, an angry Ben Stiller with a skull. Yeah, sure, no problem. I wouldn't mind that.
Oh shit.
Gotta.
My pool's about to over. Oh no, wait, never mind. And
Oh,
it looked
okay.
like my pool is about to overflow.
Well,
Oops.
LDG, if you jump in it, you probably would overflow it, given how you're extra wide.
Oh
Yeah,
God!
thanks.
Don't do that to him. Come on.
No, but yeah, we got the hurricane is right next door to me here. It looked like it. Yeah, it hasn't been raining that much though. Yeah, it's not that bad. Not as bad unless it
LDG,
turns. I
do
mean,
you
if
have
it
any
turns,
more
I'm screwed.
hurricanes coming your way? There was Helene. That was the last one, I think.
Yeah. Well, she's still right here. She's still right next to me.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. Well, be safe, man. Shit.
I
You don't
haven't
Yeah,
want.
hit,
just
haven't hit
just make
landfall
sure-
yet.
just make
There
sure,
you go.
make sure you're in the basement, have a few days worth of water and food, and make sure you have a backup generator and a good internet connection so that we know you're still alive and well, but in a bunker.
Yeah, I'd love to, but we don't have basements in Florida.
No.
So what do you have?
That's inviting a sinkhole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the indexed water table is too low or high or whatever. But
Right.
we don't have much, man. We have brick walls. That's it.
Oh, and he has sand everywhere too.
Oh, yeah, and I gotta say, take a muscle of sand gets everywhere, even in certain cracks that he doesn't want it to get into.
Okay, your coworkers messed up there, Brad. Nobody ever gets excited about a hurricane. No one. I'm sorry.
Oh shit.
Talk to her tomorrow after the hurricane passes.
Well, what if it destroys her home? Let's see if she's excited about that. Coming home to nothing. Yeah. Let's see how excited she is after that.
Well, and I do know that Gorilla would love a hurricane, as he swings around no matter what. So, just being in a hurricane will be just swinging around more.
Well, he doesn't have to worry about hurricanes necessarily. He just has to worry about twisters. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, which is roughly the same thing.
Right. Oh my God, Gorilla. There you go. That's what she has to do. Wave an American flag and go, bring it on, bitch. This is America. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. Yeah.
She's currently working for a home for mentally unstable
Unstable?
patients. So, wow.
Hello. Well, there you go. Jeez.
Maybe she shouldn't be an employee. She should be a patient.
Yes. Yeah.
Well,
Gorilla
Gorilla,
says that it's not the fucking same thing. Okay.
well, Mikey, they're both. I mean, well, Gorilla, they're both funnel clouds. They both have rain, and they both have high winds. And if you call it a twister or a hurricane, it's basically the same thing, just different names to them.
I don't know. It's weird. I guess I should say I shouldn't be surprised if we ever have a tornado warning up here where we live. It doesn't surprise me. Earthquakes, maybe, yeah, but yeah, not a tornado. I mean, yeah. And we do have blizzards. I mean, in the wintertime, we tend to have more blackouts and more brownouts because of winter storm blizzards and shit. So yeah, that's something you have to be more worried about. than flying wind all over the place. So
Hmm.
I mean, Gorilla, he was worried about flooding, right? And that's legitimate because he's got lots of lakes. I mean, you you got to be used to that. I mean, but yeah, even tornadoes are even a bad thing, for Gorilla. So yeah, Gorilla, I don't envy you, believe me. Tornadoes and floods, yeah, that's not a good thing.
You know what I have to say? If a twister does come by or a tornado comes by, just make sure he straps himself down and he's secure. And I know that worry is gonna give me some odd looks and some fetishes from Mikey and everyone else on the panel after saying it that way.
Hey Dan, don't forget, you got earthquakes and wildfires, okay? Where you're at, it's not necessarily safe. So
Don't worry. Don't worry. I always know how to get a milkshake. I always know how.
you can survive one then, I'm guessing.
I've never been in one, but I would surmise.
Oh,
Yes.
hey guys, sorry, I gotta bounce. Thanks. I'll talk to you guys.
Okay,
Good luck with the
ODG.
hurricane.
Yeah, good luck. Yeah. Well, I hope he does. Yeah, I hope it bypasses him. I'm
Yeah.
not sure if he's actually in the path, Resolute. Where he lives in Florida, I'm guessing it's going to bypass him, or maybe it will pass right over him. So I don't
Well,
know his exact location.
Mikey. Well, the Gulf of Mexico, that area, it gets a lot of hurricanes. It's a very active zone when it comes to hurricanes due to the warm water area of the region. Hurricanes form due to warm water in the area forming,
Granted.
and that creates more energy for the hurricane to develop. And then the more powerful it gets, the more it goes towards its target.
Right. But as I was going to say, depending on his location, he's got danger either way. Like you said, either Gulf of Mexico or if he's closer to the Atlantic coast, like the Atlantic Ocean and the coastline, then you got those hurricanes that come up through, the Caribbean and everything. So he's got that to mess with as well. So,
Yeah, well,
it's
Mikey,
like I said, it
well,
all
Mikey,
depends on location.
yeah, well, Mikey, I would say this: hurricanes are so damn large. I'm not be surprised, even if he's not in the blast zone, he probably will get some after effects of the hurricane, no matter where he is, probably.
Right. Well, the storm cell, when it hits land, like that's, I don't know whoever came up with the concept of how a hurricane is supposed to affect everything around it, depending on its, F rating, from F1 to F5, F5, of course, being the worst, with wind speed and all that shit. Yeah, because, well, I used to live in Florida for a really short time, but I knew even when we lived inland, the worst possible thing we could receive from any kind of hurricane would be the after effects, with the rainstorms and things like that. A lot of the flooding. Um, but if you're close enough to where it hits, when it does hit landfall, that's the danger zone for you. That's the people in the Florida Keys. I think they're insane. I think they should all move from the Florida Keys because when the Keys get wiped out, you know, you can see that devastation. You can feel it. I don't know, understand why people live down there. I honestly don't. It really surprises me. But hey,
Mikey, I counterpoint to that is, well, then they probably would say, well, then we live in Hurricane Alley, and why do you guys on the West Coast live on Earthquake Central on the dance floor of the planet? Why do you live over there?
right, that's right. You live on the San Andreas Fault, which can split your entire, state in two. Maybe not now, but like 1,000 years from now or something. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah, and Mikey, and I just figured out what the F scale means, but they don't want to say it out loud. It means how many hurricanes say "fuck you" out of 5. If it's F1, they say it once. 2, they say it twice. 3, so on and so forth.
Yeah. Right. I mean, they don't want it. They don't want to cause panic. Okay. When you got a hurricane blasting up the coast like it does, majority of the time, you don't want to freak people out and go, "Oh, this thing's gonna just destroy your entire community." That's it. It's gone. So yeah, they don't want to do that. They don't want to induce panic. Do they want to make sure that somehow that you board up your places and do the best you can with that, sure, of course that's what they'll say. But they'll also say to you, it's like, okay, get the hell out of Dodge, man, get out, because you're probably not going to make it, So, and most people do start to listen nowadays, but not a lot. Some people are just brave souls.
And Brad Wolf, it's nice for you to join up, but if you have to go, have a good night, Brad Wolf.
Yeah, good to see you, Brad Wolf. Yeah, he was
Yeah,
on
thanks
my
for coming, Brad.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
Hurricanes are
hurricanes are
pussies. Okay,
Gorilla.
Gorilla, drive down to Florida.
Yeah,
First-hand reporting.
yeah. Yeah, Gorilla. If you think your tornadoes up there in Minnesota are worse, then move down to Florida with LDG, man. Well, that's right. He's got his foot ready to hit your ass. Okay, maybe you want to avoid that scenario for a little bit.
Well, I do have to say, if he gets closer to Florida, then the rod that's in the foot will turn into a rocket. Then closer he gets, the more the foot becomes into a rocket. Then when he gets so damn close, the rocket will launch with the foot on it and he'll be in outer space.
Yeah. Do you want me to address this one, Germ? Okay, so
Yeah.
Daniel says, Mikey, like I was saying last night, I miss Pop Culture Curator. We were going to have an awesome extraterrestrial cast. He was going to talk about the different alien races and their relationship to mankind. Yes, okay, I know. But it also inspires controversy, Daniel, and maybe it might not have been the most appropriate thing to talk about. I mean, because a lot of people already do. Uh, yeah, maybe it would have been somewhat decent to hear, but yeah, I don't. I think it was just, it was meant to happen. What happened, Daniel? So that's all I can answer to you on that. But whatever.
Okay, Gorilla. Hurricanes don't scare you, but Florida, man, that's a different story. Well,
What's he
I can
afraid of? The
understand.
gators down there, or alligators and shit? I don't know. What is he afraid of?
Florida, man.
Florida. Huh.
Yeah, and he's probably scared of all the large reptiles down in Florida, since they don't have very much up there in Minnesota.
Well, I would be surprised. Hello, there, Jim. It's not controversial.
I know, but for YouTube purposes, it would be for entertainment purposes only.
Yeah, entertainment, yes. It
Yeah,
would.
and I would love to see this gorilla versus a alligator or crocodile or whatever they have down there in Florida. I would love to see a gorilla and a alligator or crocodile wrestle, see who would win in that fight.
Yeah. Well, Gorilla, I have to say, if you in fact do have existing cryptids up there in the deep Minnesota woods, I'd love to see one of those, big feet guys, come up and hit your door and smash into your house. Then we'll see what happens there.
Hey, if you want Sasquatch, you come out west.
Well, yeah, they could go after Dan's place.
Oh no, they're up here in Seattle.
Oh, I know they exist in Seattle.
I know where
Yes.
Bigfoot lives.
Oh, cool.
He's a
So why
beggar
haven't
now that he lost his job for the Supersonics.
Oh, there you go.
Pay him to jump on trampolines and dunk a basketball over a kid's head anymore.
Oh,
That was
jeez.
his only skill.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty sad. What about your? Are you going to change your entire Seattle Mariners management too? I think they should.
Well, we're going to turn feather Jerry DePoto
Yeah.
on his way out of town, and then
I
we're going to
hope
work
so.
backwards from there.
All right, there you go.
But the coaching staff has already been addressed. The ownership group never really cleared house when they took over a few years ago. They just inherited the coach. They inherited Jerry. And now their two biggest problems are going away. And now the real stuff can be addressed.
Right.
Oh, really? Are they going to clean up your state and do away with all the shit policies and say, okay, we're going to clean up your city and your state to make it look nice and shiny where it was before all this shit happened.
Well, it'll start with the little bit of pride we can have in our baseball team. And then next thing we know, we have enough pride in ourselves not to vote for Adolf Inslee a fourth time.
Right.
Well, it depends
And,
depends how stupid you guys are up there to re-elect someone like that. But then again, I live in California, so I got no excuses down here too. We have a shit state with Chris Newsom as governor right now.
We elected the imitation of Little Mustache Man. You guys elected a goddamn lizard. There is no way you can tell me that Newsom is anything but a cold-blooded reptile from the center of the earth looking to enslave and feast upon humanity's flesh.
Yeah, right. And to Daniel's topic about the Greys. Well, if you actually look at the history of the Grey aliens and the lore behind them, the author that actually originally created the Greys, they were going to be an analogy for what future humans could have looked like if everything went right or everything went wrong for future humans. The Greys were going to be an analogy for very far future humans. The Greys were going to be us in the far future. That's what the lore on the Greys are, roughly.
Yeah, and as far as that part goes, Daniel, Pop had a lot of controversial opinions, a lot of which was influenced by the way his life went the last couple of years of it. So I wouldn't take everything he said as gospel. Make up your own mind, gather your own information.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't just go off what certain people say there, Daniel. You have to have a more of an open mind and do your research. Yeah.
If you don't want them elected again, then you have to go campaign at your local cemeteries.
Cemeteries, sure. Yeah, let's get some burial plots and dig up names from there and then put them on the ballot. Sure, there you go.
Hey, there's a reason that more votes come in to this county than there are people registered living in this county.
That's true. Yeah, we got the same problems that it's all across Canada. You had a guy who was you had Pierre who was a great dad, but then you got a piece of crap son who, oh hey Lucy, I'm home. Yeah. Well, sorry. I got to get used to this country. Okay, it's a thing. Yeah.
Well, I would say this Canada is more of a somewhat more liberal country than the U.S. is. So, judging by what you say off the air, you probably could tolerate Canada more than you can than what U.S. is right now, Mikey.
I can tolerate the people in Canada because generally they're nice people. And I'm not saying that America doesn't have nice people too. It does. But the thing is that here, when it comes to diversity, that diversity stands out. But when you see it down there in the United States, people freak out. And they're like, because I saw it firsthand. When I was living in Arizona, I saw how Hispanic people were being mistreated. But then again, you saw what was going on with them, like saying, hey, we earned a slice of the pie, we should have it. And then they go crazy. So, I mean, it was shared. Okay. It wasn't the fact that one, that white people were going against everybody else. It was all shared.
In the United States, not the whole, we got some randos up in Canada.
Yeah. Right. So, I mean, we're both countries are going through the same crap. Just different leaders, but same crap. So, go with that.
Yes, 4 more days until October. Favorite month of the year. Mine too, Daniel.
Well, my wife's too. She loves Halloween.
Yeah, and with Halloween around the corner, I wonder if Chris Newsom will actually show his true self for Halloween.
Right?
Yeah, that's true. Pierre didn't have a kid. His wife did have a kid. But we'll leave that up to the DNA test.
Yeah, we'll just leave it there, Gorilla.
Mikey can be held liable for what we say on this, and
Yeah, I can't because
Until
according to you, I'm a transplant gorilla. Well, in my case, a trans maple tree, but with a maple leaf tree with syrup. But hey, whatever. I'm
still
stuck.
you're
I'm stuck
within
in
the
a
reach.
quandary. I'm stuck in a quandary gorilla. We all are. So can't help it. We're up here. So.
Yeah, and I'll try to keep this kind of brief and civil, but since we're getting into a few political topics,
Yeah,
from
yeah,
what
yeah. Sorry.
from what I read in the topics of California politics, Grissom Newsom, he's like the figurehead, and but from what I hear, our legislation is trying to push all this crap, and the governor is trying to veto it a lot, but he lets it pass some. But it's mainly the legislation that tries to pass all this horse shit down our throats. It's not really the governor's fault, or is it? Because the governor is really the figurehead of the problem. He's the symptom.
Totally.
He's not really the full problem.
Well,
Yeah.
the way it works is he's the head of the Democratic Party in the state of California.
Right.
So he's basically giving them marching orders. They're all on the same page. They're pushing stuff, and the only stuff he vetoes is the stuff to make him look a little bit better in the news media, local news media, and stuff he knows that is going to come back and kill him later. Because if he signs a bill that happens to be so horribly illegal and unconstitutional, it can blow back on him.
Yeah, and it's just like this new meme law, which is ridiculous. It's blowing up back in his face. It is right now.
Look enforcing that, you lizard faced son of a bitch.
Gorilla said he can veto the shit.
He can, but like Adolf Inslee, he rarely does.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
in truth, he's the one actually behind 90% of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now,
and Mike,
Daniel. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Dan. Sorry.
and Germ, just to sort of clarify me, we have a Democrat governor. Do you guys have a D or an R as your governor? I'm gonna guess probably you have a D in your governorship right now.
For essentially my entire life. I was born about 3 weeks before the election where the last Republican governor of my state lost. And so that entire time afterwards, we've had the freaking Democrat Party as governor of this state.
Yeah, that was pretty shitty, inopportune timing, don't you think, Germ?
Yeah.
Just saying. Just saying. I mean,
Yeah,
when I was living in Arizona all those times, all those years, we had shitty governors too. In fact, there was one governor. We were just talking about it. We were watching a film earlier, and it said that it's supposed to be in Arizona, but we know for a fact it isn't. Well, this one, I won't mention his name, but this one governor really pissed off Hollywood and said, "Hey, you guys need to pay taxes, on what places you're going to shoot and all this other stuff." He basically destroyed any kind of like tourism related to movies to Arizona. He basically said, "Fuck you," at Hollywood. Well, the rest of Arizona paid the price. So
yes,
that's
and
why they don't shoot movies there anymore.
yeah, and Jeremy, I do have another question. Are the R's up there? Is the party non-existent, or are they controlled opposition, or are they somewhat competent up there? Because from what I hear from pundits down here in California, the R's right here are competent, but they don't have enough influence to become a major force in California again.
Well, I'll tell you this
up
much.
Here, there are some competent Republicans.
Yeah.
None of which are in the party leadership.
Right.
Most of the party leadership are only there because they couldn't get into the party leadership of the Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, we got one party with a different suit on.
Yeah. Plus up here, Dan, when it comes to, I'm only now just starting to realize or to understand some of the politics that goes on up here between the liberals and conservatives, with the Ottawa, the main parliament. But that's the whole thing. It's a parliament. And parliament, not unlike Congress, has dissenters and has people that keep arguing amongst each other and can't get shit together to make legitimate laws exist. So, I mean, what does that say about the state of like both countries because they're so divisive? That's the
They
whole
try
problem.
too much. You
That's
got
right.
half of them that want to just give away money and want to hold on to power no matter what.
Right.
That they'll give money to virtually anyone they think that can keep them in power.
Right.
That's why
Anyone that
we
they
have
can bolster.
entire
Right. Yeah.
areas that they just drop people. Like in Gorilla's home state, they have so many people concentrated in one area that are from nowhere near the state of Minnesota that they got Rashida Tlaib elected solely based on where she was born.
Yeah. And welcome, Booger 414. Booger 414, you absolutely nailed
Booger.
it. Yeah. It's like herding cats. Yeah. They're out of control, Booger. When you have
Well,
lots of cats like that, they are out of control. You don't have any uniformity there or
well,
loyalty. I mean, you can't control all of them, but yeah, that's the problem.
well, I do have something to ask. Well, if the R's are cats, then what are the Dims then?
I don't know.
Reptiles.
Reptiles.
If you ever saw the miniseries V,
Yeah, I have.
that's
But-
what they are.
Yes.
Yeah, but just to clarify, I've seen the new V show, not the old one. So you probably say the new one was shit. I just seen the newer V series that came out.
Don't you have to? Yeah, don't you have to admit that Morena Baccarin was pretty cool looking for when the newbie came out.
Yeah. Graphics
Yeah.
was okay. They did okay on the casting. It's just it all fell apart because they didn't know what they were doing.
It did. Yeah, true. Oh, Gorilla says we didn't elect that biatch. Omar is the biatch they elected in Murderopolis. Oh, you mean
Yeah,
like
and
the London?
guess who 70% of her constituency is?
Yeah.
White.
No.
I'm surprised he didn't refer to London Breed over in San Francisco. Gorilla.
Well,
The
She's
that-
not
vast
exact-
majority
that
of
person's not
Elon
exactly
Omer's
mental.
district are refugees just like her from the very same place she is.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. Well, Mikey, we have Nancy Pelosi in the San Francisco area. She's from there too.
Yeah, I know Pelosi. Yeah, you mean leprosy? Yeah, that's what I call her, Nancy Leprosy. Yeah, go with that. Yeah, she's not exactly sane. Okay, most politicians are not exactly sane. Okay,
Yeah,
as
and I
I'm
long
would
as we
say,
can
sorry to
agree on
hear
that,
that,
we're
Daniel.
fine. So,
I am very sorry
well,
to
you
hear
know
that,
what? I don't
Daniel. He
listen.
usually doesn't agree with people disagreeing
Oh
with him.
man, yeah, I don't. No. Time travel to me is just a complete shitstorm. If you want me to be so bold, it is the way that some people try to explain it, and the way that others try to say, "Well, it doesn't really exist." Well, I don't know what to tell you about that. It's a controversy completely, always.
That's the problem. When you're talking time travel, you need to keep it very safe, very simple, and don't go into too many details. We don't need to know exactly how the DeLorean got to 1955. We just need to know that it got to 1955, and now his family is erasing.
Right.
Yeah, and I do have to say, until we figure out in real life how time travel works, and would we really notice the fixes in the timeline or the scripts in the timeline if we ever do invent it? Because in reality, we'll be in the normal time stream, so to speak, and the time travel will be in a alternative timeline. Will we really notice it?
Alternative timeline stuff?
Well,
the
in the
timeline
second
itself
one,
would change, and there would be no split off. You'd have to go back and physically force it back to where it was. It's not like moving a river. It's sort of like moving a stick.
right. But you know what threw me off too, Jerem, was the fact that towards the end of the second one, you had this lightning storm. Oh, and then by the way, a lightning bolt hits the car, and you go back to the 1800s. What the fuck was up with that? Like, come on, really? That far back?
I do have a simple answer for that, Mike. Yeah, the time series were set for that, and 1885. The time circuits were set for that, and the doctor
Initially.
did not notice that.
Yeah. And
Yeah, it got
Booger
set
says,
because it was having some trouble with it.
yeah.
We had micro version of the immigration voter phenomenon. In a local primary, one town mobilized more voters than the others in a district, and their resident won the candidacy.
Wow. So does that mean that democracy actually worked in that instance, Booger?
No, it means that a bunch of refugees voted illegally.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, and
Refugees are not supposed to be legally allowed to register to vote in the United States.
Yeah, and I'm going to say this: votes count to a point, but the reality is that money also plays a big factor in these elections too. If the candidate does not have enough money and all that,
in
if you
states like yours and mine, Dan, the only thing that counts is how fast you can make that printer go.
Yeah. Hey, I like
all
Gorilla's
vote by
explanation.
mail. It's how many times you can keep hitting that print button, and whoever has the most printer ink basically wins.
Yeah. Now I like Gorilla's explanation where he says, Mikey, I'm living proof of time travel. I'm from 2132 and I came back to study the fall of the United States. Well, can you tell me the next lottery numbers from now until 2132, Gorilla? I'd love to have them. So I can actually, jump over the border and win some money and then bring it back. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I do have a question for Gorilla and for you, Mikey. Is Gorilla really that smart and that intelligent enough to actually find the lottery numbers and get the lottery numbers, or is he just here to see it and be part of when shit hits the fan, literally?
Yeah, literally.
Oh, no refugees, Booger?
Yeah, no.
Well, I hope all those immigrants had taken their citizenship test.
They must have passed it.
I don't know, because where I live, you can be an immigrant, undocumented, refugee. You get a vote by mail ballot if you have a license. They automatically sign you up for a license here. Whether you get that ballot when you get the license, regardless of your status, because they don't bother checking.
And you also know that most of those undocumented or most of the immigrants, they do work for cheaper. So the companies feel that they can hire them more than people that are asking for more money. They will. So they'll hire the people that work for less.
Yeah, and Mikey,
and that's some places pay more.
Yeah, and Mikey, and that's another reason why you think people are there's a lot of angry people. Well, the immigrants are taking the jobs, but then here's my sort of counterpoint. They're taking the jobs that we don't want, but they're also starting to take the jobs that we actually want. They're causing more competition than what we don't want, and that's making us uncomfortable. And we're saying that at the voting box, in other words.
Yeah. And there are lots of voting irregularities in your area, Booger. I granted, and there is here in Canada in many places, not just where we live, but like other places as well. It's everywhere. It's in every state. When I left Arizona, they're all going through hell right now because, that was a Republican state for years and years. And now the Democrats are just saying, hey, we could take over, and they think they got it.
How they took over.
Yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
Money.
Well,
probably
wasn't just that.
Money and voters who shouldn't be anywhere near a voting box.
Well, people who shouldn't even go near it and don't even understand what they're voting for in the first place. So they don't do research. They don't examine things. That's the problem.
Another trick is if you take your ballot and decide not to turn it in, you just throw it in the garbage.
Yeah.
When you go to look up to see if your vote was actually cast and counted, it will be counted. Yeah. We have quite a good higher turnout than we should here in this state because they start filling out ballots for people who didn't bother turning theirs in.
But and I was just trying to see what Booger says here about his state, that they repealed that law to put a code. Yeah, well, that doesn't surprise me, Booger. But I mean, does that really affect you guys in general? I mean, it must, or to some extent.
because you have people voting or being registered to vote and voted by proxy for stuff that the majority of the population does not benefit from and would not vote for.
Right. I
We
think what
don't want
Booger is
these
saying,
jobs because our society has spent years
yeah,
telling kids that they should not want those jobs. Exactly. If
right.
you
Well, they
listen to
program
the
them.
Mike Rowe podcast,
Yeah,
he goes into great detail about how and why all this stuff happened over the past 40 or so years. That, oh,
yeah,
you got to go to a 4-year college. You got to get yourself a degree. A
yeah.
degree in basket weaving and a degree in LGBTQ studies is not going to get you a good job.
No.
It is going to get you McDonald's.
Or if you're lucky, you'll get to work in sanitation.
It No, if you got a degree in one of those, you're not even qualified for sanitation.
Oh, really? Oh, well, okay.
A mop
Education
and a
system, of course,
bucket
has already gone to
too
hell.
damn
Yeah.
much for you if you spent 4 years in
Right.
LGBTQ studies. You
Ah,
think that you are too good for a mop and a bucket if you spent 4 years studying that shit.
yeah.
Because you were taught for 4 years that you are oppressed, you are downtrodden, and that if you don't have a 6-figure salary, that you are being treated, you're working for a racist.
Hmm. It's probably true. Yeah, no, it's true, Booger, that they usually tell, well, they don't tell every kid in school that they can be president. They say it's possible, but there's just so much red tape and things like that. They don't even explain that part of it. So to become a president, yeah, you got to make sure you don't have a single damn skeleton in your closet. You're going to go through a lot of red tape. You're going to go through a lot of controversy. Some people aren't going to like you. Some people will say, yeah, you're God's, gift of white bread and, stuff like that. But they don't tell you all that. All they say to you is, oh, yeah, you can become president. Yeah. There's
Yeah.
no
Oh,
explanation. They just say it to you. That's,
yeah.
you know,
That is somewhat not true anymore, Booger. They
yeah.
will say you can be president, but if you're a little white boy, they say you shouldn't be president.
Yeah, right.
They say you should defer to a woman of color or some other quote unquote oppressed minority.
If,
Look how good that so called oppressed minority is doing right now.
yeah, right.
Cackling freaking witch.
All right, Dan. And then he says
So,
we have to show photo ID to vote. Now the monitors can't tell if the license should not match voter registration. That's pretty pathetic, don't you think, Booger? In some ways.
Yeah, that's voter ID, that's better than we got out west.
Yeah, that's pretty true. Yeah.
There should be no monitors. It should be humans and paper ballots.
Right.
No computers, because especially if you go out on the internet and you can find a dozen videos where some schmuck can hack those things in 10 seconds.
Yeah. I don't think I'm not going against what you just said there, Daniel, but I also worked for McDonald's. It's not necessarily a hellhole. It's where certain people feel like they're being subjugated to a lesser than ideal job. But then again, in order to make the money that you need to do the things you want to do, you're gonna have to take the hellhole jobs like that, Daniel. You can't just
And,
be, picky and choosy about what kind of, freaking job you want to work. You know, you gotta bear down and do what needs to be done. Yeah, I'm sorry it was a hellhole, but
yeah,
not everybody
you
thinks so. I mean, there's some people
gotta
that still
start
work in
somewhere.
McDonald's. Yeah, so a job is a job. Exactly, my wife. Yeah. So yeah, don't be so picky choosy. Yeah. Oh yeah, well, protected class. Booger,
Yeah.
I don't know that if that's probably mostly true, but I wouldn't say it's fully true. Even protected class gets busted around in the chops a little bit, with skeletons.
No,
So
if you go after the skeletons, you're called a racist.
Yeah.
Gee, well then should all the Dims be called racist since they all have skeletons in their closet that they try to hide so damn well?
Oh,
Hey,
Democrats
thank you, Booker.
is essentially ingrained in their party for racism. The
Yeah.
racism of low expectations.
Right.
Because you got to remember, the Democratic Party was the party of the Confederacy. They're the party of gun control, which was originally passed for the sole purpose of keeping guns out of the hands of freed slaves because they thought that they would take those guns and seek revenge. They are the party of Planned Parenthood, which was established by a eugenicist, Margaret Sanger, to control the population of undesirable classes. She hated blacks, Indians, and Jews specifically, and
Yeah, she
put
did.
the Planned Parenthoods in poor black neighborhoods to try to keep the population down.
Right. Her methods were
These are
not
the
unlike.
giants of the Democratic Party.
Well, Margaret. Now that you speak of Margaret Sanger, and I remember some of her back history. She wasn't unlike a certain mustachioed man who tried to rule, Europe.
Oh,
We won't
yeah,
say
the
his name,
world
but
Jennifer.
Sanger came from the same class, basically, or a subclass of human, if you want to go with that. I go with that. So, yeah,
Oh, you're thinking more numerically.
yeah. The booger is
Oh,
thinking
he
more
meant human
numerically.
monitors.
Yeah, the
To
humans
check
ones
your
check into the
into
polling
vote.
place. Well, let me ask you guys this: would you want to be a human monitor that supervises you and tells you, this is how you're going to go in to vote, blah blah blah, and so forth, or would you rather be the greeter at Walmart? I'm at Walmart. There you go.
I would do the human voting monitor because that means we had in-person voting, and we haven't had that in damn near 20 years here in the state.
It doesn't exist up here. I know that.
Democrats completely failed in 2004.
Yeah,
The
I don't think
Republican
that
actually
exists.
won that governor election up here, and the minute it happened, they started filing lawsuits and started planning to change this state into all mail-in voting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah, I don't
Mikey,
think that.
And hasn't
and
sniffed
Mikey,
the governor's office since.
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm
and
sorry. Go
Mikey,
ahead, Dan. Yeah.
I'll choose the same route as Germ.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, which is not incorrect. Not the same, but you get paid
Yeah,
for
well,
one job.
yeah, well, Mikey, I'm more of a hands-on type of guy. I rather learn hands-on than please state the nature of your problem. Then press 1, press 2, press 3,
Yeah.
all that bullshit.
So you're born to hand job. Okay, Dan. I'm kidding with you. Anyway.
Oh, don't worry, Mikey. You know how to finger just right for someone.
I'm all right. I'm all right.
Okay.
Nobody worry about me.
Moving on from that uncomfortable thought in my head.
Image.
Eh.
Well, Mikey started. I went right back at him.
Hey, I didn't go that far. Come on.
Okay. To this day, most Planned Parenthood clinics are in undesirable neighborhoods. Yeah,
Granted.
because they make money, and they got them all convinced that, oh yeah, you don't need this kid. It's going to be a burden. It's not going to be a way to establish your family line for generations to come. They have done a very good job breaking minority populations in this country of any idea of upward mobility.
Well, don't they tell most poor families that they're going to continue to live in squalor if they even have children or even think about having children?
Yes.
Yeah.
They do everything they can to destroy the idea of building a two-parent household and building generational wealth. And that's the way we succeed.
Yeah.
I have never heard a Republican attack those ideas.
Well, that's what they've been doing for years and years. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what they've been
I've
doing for
gotten that
years.
only from Democrats, though.
Well, some Republicans are guilty of it too, but maybe not as many. They want to filter out the undesirables. Both parties are guilty of that, not just one.
I have never had Republicans filter out people by race,
Well,
creed,
I've seen it.
ethnicity, or wealth.
Well, I don't know. I've seen it in my experience. Both parties are guilty. Both parties are responsible. That's why you can't find a decent candidate from either party. They're both pieces of shit. There's nothing else you can do
No,
about it.
we've had decent. We had a decent candidate this time in the Democratic, uh, in the primary for
Yeah,
governor. We had Simi Bird, who is running for the Republican. He is a
right.
very good candidate. Then the party completely steamrolled him and made sure he couldn't win the primary, so he couldn't get into the general election this November.
Yeah. All right,
Yeah,
Gorilla. Well,
and my
Gorilla's got to go soon for his thing, and yeah, I've got my watch party in about approximately 20 minutes.
and Mikey, look.
I have never seen the filtering, but I have seen a great deal of uneasiness when around voters who are different.
And
Granted.
Mikey, I would say this that well, call me somewhat biased, but you are somewhat brainwashed to the liberal side of things. But if you look at the history, Trump was in office for 4 years, and you say he's going to be a dictator? No, because if you go by his 4 years in office, he stepped down from power and let Biden in office. That's not being a dictator. That's making way for your successor in the transition of power. And if Trump does the same thing in this election, he will step down when his election is over and let the next guy take over the reins of power. He did it for Joe Biden. No matter how shitty he was, he stepped down and he let Joe Biden go. And he will do the same once his term is up this time around if there's no shenanigans on the side that counts the votes.
Okay, well, no, Dan, you make some good points, but I want to address one thing here. As far as myself, when it came to voting, okay, yeah, there were a few moments where I felt totally biased and said, hey, they're going to be better than the other and vice versa, okay? But I will say that one of the things that really turned me off the voting completely was the fact that I had to use an excuse such as the lesser of two evils, which is bullshit. That
But
doesn't
you don't
exist
have to
anymore.
vote for the two major parties. There are always other people to
Right.
vote
You
for.
can always vote for independent, which I only did, I think, twice in my entire lifetime. And even then, I wasn't exactly proud of myself because I said, I think I just wasted my vote. I think it's gone, because they've already made up their mind. In Washington, they've already made up their mind who they're going to put in office, or at least throughout most of the country. So I felt very dismayed. I'm like, does my vote even count anymore? That's how much. I mean, when I started to become disillusioned and felt like my vote is bullshit and I can't even put down something like that, Dan. Yeah, damn right. But I wasn't biased. I was becoming more of a realist as I got older and said, this is fucking bullshit. The whole thing, the whole process is just gone. Okay, and I, you know what? I feel the worst. I'm not ashamed. I mean, sometimes yes, I feel a little distressed, but I'm not ashamed that I moved to Canada. I know they got their own problems. I understand that. I mean, but that being said, I really feel for the United States as a whole. They are in deep shit. The entire country itself is living in a cesspool. Nobody has a solution to solve anything. They don't.
Actually, we
Nobody
do.
does.
There
Yeah.
are plenty
So
of solutions being offered, but we have a monolith of D's that are dead set on a certain way, and that certain way happens to be the way of the Soviet Union.
yeah, unfortunate. So I don't know. I don't know. Dan, I'll tell you this much. You are a younger individual, and you should be proud of that because you would have to start a revolution. You need to address what's going on. You need to wake people up and tell them, hey, this is what we need to do to change things. If you can be the beginner of change, that would be great, Dan. That would be awesome. And I hope that happens. I hope that someone like yourself or anyone can wake people up and say, wake the fuck up, turn into a coup, become a revolution, do what needs to be done, and get your country back to where it was. Now, whoever
You
they
can
decide
start by
to
not voting Democrat.
well, yeah, but I think some people shouldn't even vote Republican either. There's no win here, Germ. If one gets in, we're dead. If the other one gets in, we're still dead. So there's no winners here. There's no winners
No,
at all.
there is an obvious better choice.
Well, okay. Well, then they're probably going to go. The majority is going to say, yeah, okay, maybe there's a better choice, and then they'll go with that guy. So, hey, that's
The
their
real
choice, right?
problem in this country, the Republicans are a little bit spineless as a whole. Then you got Mitch the bitch types and Mitt
Uh-huh.
Romney that
Yeah.
are just Democrats with a red tie on.
Right.
And we just have to go away from the socialist programs that the entire Democratic Party has basically latched onto since Bill Clinton left office. And the only reason it wasn't 100% socialist then is because Bill was too busy getting his dick sucked by ugly interns.
Yeah, well, the guy with the big hair gets massages from mistresses too. Don't forget.
No, he has a model wife and he
Well, his
just
model
trades
wife
in,
is
he
even
just trades him in with like you do a car.
Well,
Yeah, you're right about that. Yeah.
Well, and Mikey, I would say this: if America does fall into a dictatorship for a short time, like for a few terms, but if it works and it keeps the system somewhat functional, able to solve problems, as long as the dictatorial movement or this thing does not basically take away my personal rights or my own personal way of life, I'm fine with it. But just keep that away from my personal space, please. The dictatorial power and all that shit. Just do it on the national scale or the semi-state level if you have to, but don't force it down all the way down people's throats, especially the ones that won't listen worth a damn, but to the ones that just want to keep their heads down, just say what the hell, whatever, just do whatever you have to, but leave me alone. Stay out of my life. Just leave me alone, and I'm good with whatever system of government you have. Is leave me alone. Don't get my personal life or space. Leave me alone.
Sure. All I want to say to that, Dan, is, whatever choice is made by you and other people, that is their decision and their decision alone to make that choice. And, at the end of all of it, when all is said and done, you live with that choice. You live with it. You, just yourself, nobody else. You live with that. I'm just
Hello,
saying
Raquel.
that's the attitude that everybody should have. So, hey,
And
Raquel.
hello, Raquel.
And yeah, Raquel is gonna have her watch party in about 15 minutes. So I need to head over there so I can we're reviewing
Okay.
Speed 2 Cruise Control. Yeah. With her,
Go
me,
ahead
and Moira.
Now's a good time to start our pitches in. Mikey, go ahead and start.
Yeah. Okay, so tomorrow I will be there for along with you, Germ, and PvP for Gorilla's Walton stream, The Choice. And then afterwards at 11:05 p.m. I will be doing a Mikey movie mayhem. We'll be reviewing Star Trek VI: The Undiscovered Country. Plus, we'll examine other topics of the day, things that are going on. So hopefully, all of you can attend that. And we also have one of our newer. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it too myself, Raquel. Well, I haven't seen it in a long time. I mean, I've actually seen it, but I'm like, yeah, it's been a long time. for Speed 2. Also, this weekend, one of our newer family members, you guys might have seen her here and there, Charlotte Nightstar the Werewolf. She's the silent hostess with the mostest when she does streams. And Curtis Selby, our tired midnight blogger, myself, and Cyberpunk Dystopia are doing a watch party of Cruel Intentions, which had Sarah Michelle Gellar in it. And we do part one of the movie on Saturday afternoons at 4:05 p.m. Eastern, 3:05 Central, and then part two is the same times for Sunday. And then don't forget, Gorilla's got The Natural coming up. So I'd love to attend that, on Sunday night cinema for him. So that's basically what's coming up. And then I got all my stuff next week, normal times. So.
Mikey, did Germ give you a wrench?
Here's Raquel's link.
Yep, that's Raquel's link. Yeah. I don't know. Hold on. Let me see what I said there. Yes, I have a wrench.
Yeah, you got a wrench.
Yeah, I do. Yep. And I know Germ's got a wrench too, for our channel as well. I do have like pretty much everybody. Other than the other, my birthday celebration where we had that Denny the dump truck guy, but luckily Jim, Landscape was there to warn me about him ahead of time. Then we banned him completely. So, yeah. But Raquel's good people. So, yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to. Well, like I said, Dan. I know that you and Germ are very intelligent people. You'll make the right choice, and let's just hope that it's right for America. That's all I have to say about that. Because I was born American first, but I'm Canadian second right now. So I have to learn my way around here before I can even start talking about anything as far as a political process around here. So, yeah.
Well, I will say this: God help us, whoever's in office. Lord help us.
Oh, the Lord will help in mysterious ways. Even you know that, Dan. So whatever gets in, God will take care of it. Karma's a bitch, right? Karma's God. Okay, so hello, hey, Phantom Boomer, let's see you. Anyway, I'm headed over to Raquel's, so I will take your leave there, Germ. But thank you for having me up here with Dan and everybody, and I'll see you tomorrow night then for Walton's stream.
Yep. See you then, Mikey.
All right, take care, guys.
Worked at McDonald's in 05. Good at first, got $460 a week. Great, but then it became a hellhole. They were slave drivers. Well, maybe you got one of the bad ones, Daniel. Tim Hortons in 09. Oh, you got some good experience there, Daniel. Thanks for stopping by, Raquel. And enjoy Speed 2.
And have a nice night, Raquel. And hopefully you get over 9,000 in subscribers.
Okay, Dan, go ahead and go with your pitch.
All right, all your panelists and viewers that don't know me or know me, I'm Sci-Fi Sit Dan. I usually cover different sci-fi TV shows or movies. I do crossover ideas on my YouTube channel as well, among other sci-fi things. You can type in my YouTube channel name. It's the same as what's on the subtitle. Germ could put the link in on his side of the stream. And I do a Transformers Prime TV show watch parties on Fridays at 8 p.m. Pacific time. And if Germ keeps his schedule for Gorilla, the time will stick at 8 p.m. Pacific time tomorrow. And I do my live streams on Saturdays between 2 and 4 p.m. Pacific time. And I do crossover streams with Resolute Germ and Gorilla if they will allow it, and they usually do. I try to upload a new YouTube video at the beginning of each week to entertain my audience and my subscribers, to entertain you guys. And beyond that, I think that's all I have to say about my channel. And I'll let Resolute Germ turn over to give his promotion and his own, his own stuff.
And here is Dan's link. Okay, great panel. Thanks for being on, Dan, and thanks to Mikey for being here. Thanks to everyone who was in the chat. Glad you could all stop by. Go ahead and raid Gorilla's Random Thoughts. In about 5 minutes or so, he'll be playing The Prisoner of Azkaban. And I'll get you the link for that. So go ahead and go over and raid Gorilla's Random Thoughts. We'll be back Saturday morning for Saturday morning cartoons. The poll for that still up in the community tab. Very, very close between Teen Wolf, Yu-Gi-Oh, and Rocko's Modern Life. One vote can swing it anyway, so if you have a particular favorite, go vote. I'll announce the winner of that tomorrow night on Gorilla's Wilton stream. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. Oh, we can only hope. Take care, everybody. See you later.
Good night, everyone.